high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. That's 800-405-2561.
All right, welcome to the show, Fifth Street Soccer on the Sports Byline USA SB Nation radio networks, as well as American Forces. I'm Nick Geber, along with my co-host, who's calling in from another part of the universe, Mr. Nick Webster. It is great to be with you today as we have another wonderful day of football to talk about here, and I'm talking about the international football, not the one played with the oblong thing. You know, the one where the big guys fall into each other, smash into each other, fall over, get up and do it again, and the ball is entirely ancillary to the game. Nick Webster, how was your weekend and your Monday?
Well, what a classic description of American football, or football americano. Yes, my weekend was, jam-packed full of football as always, and Monday was even better, and now here we are on Tuesday, and international football, and England back on the winning track. They almost broke a 146-year record by losing 4 on the bounce, but thankfully Marcus Rashford saved Gareth Southgate's blushes.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a little international football. Now, if you've been watching this show, you know that I've not been overly fond of it as of late, other than the World Cup and the Euros, of course. But I will say this. I am actually changing my tune on the UEFA Nations League. Believe it or not, folks, I am going to eat a little humble pie right here on the Sports Byline USA and SB Nation radio networks. I'm going to say I was wrong. Was it the Fonz that always had trouble saying that, Nick?
He was, yes.
Wrong. Great stuff from the Nations League, including, I must say, one of the most scintillatingly exciting goals I have seen in an awfully long time, and I'm talking about Olivier Giroud's absolute screaming around-the-body volley during the Netherlands game. What a match that was. Exciting end-to-end stuff. We're going to get to it in a little bit of detail here on the show. If you'd like to call into the studio, you can, 800-878-PLAY. If you would like to find us on Facebook, of course, you can do that, facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. Twitter is Fifth Street Sports. YouTube channel is youtube.com/Fifth Street Sports. I think you're kind of getting the idea here. And, of course, FifthStreetSports.com, which exists in all of its myriad and glories. I'm Nick Webster. I'm Nick Geber. Pardon me. He is Nick Webster. Sorry, Nick. We did a shifting there, and we're with you each and every weeknight right here on these networks from 6 p.m. Pacific time. That's 9 p.m. Eastern time. That's Monday through Friday. All right, we're going to step aside, get our thoughts together, take a break, and we'll be right back at you in 3 minutes.
It has been said that everyone has a book.
Clear.
Do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003.
Yep. What's up?
800-485-6003. 800
You say something?
485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Pedro Fernandez here. You might know me as the host of Ring Talk Live Worldwide, but this time I'm here to talk about that 4-letter word everybody dreads, pain. If you have back pain or knee pain like I do, hey, you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. I'm talking about if Medicare is your primary medical insurance, and guess what? You can qualify for a back or knee brace or a shoulder brace for little or no charge. Anything to help me with the pain, hey, makes it more manageable, gets my attention, folks. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for your back, ankle, knee, or shoulder, guess what? Give the Health Alert Hotline a call, toll free, 1-800-428-1570. 1-800-428-1570. You can qualify for a back or knee brace or a shoulder brace for little or no charge. 1-800-428-1570. The Health Alert Hotline. 1-800-428-1570.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductible supply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
All right, we're back here on Fifth Street Soccer, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio, and of course, American Forces. I'd like to welcome all of the men and women in uniform listening around the world on American Forces to the show. It is wonderful to be with you as we are each and every day from 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. That's Monday through Friday here on these networks. Also, if you're listening on iHeart or TuneIn or watching us on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch or Witch or Switch or Snatch or Watch or whatever it is. Anyway, welcome. Nick Geber along with Nick Webster. And Nick Webster, I have been against the Nations League. I said I thought it was another excuse to try to make money-spinning friendlies and international friendlies worthwhile. But I have to say I'm going to eat a little crow because I saw some terrific matches. Only 3 substitutions a match, which means even if you play a weakened squad, they're playing the whole game, basically. I also saw one of the best goals I've seen in an awfully long time in Olivier Giroud's incredible goal where he volleyed around a defending Dutch player. We saw Spain whooping a full-strength-ish Croatia squad today. Good stuff, Nick Webster. Are you surprised?
Well, I am surprised that you have said that the Nations League is something that you're interested in, because I've frankly been quite disappointed. It just seems to be so under-promoted, and what are they playing for? That's the thing that gets me. I realize there's seed-ins involved, but let's just say, for instance, England, who are, we're supporting, lose every game in their group, whatever group they're in. What does that mean?
Well, what it means is that next year they're playing. They're playing Luxembourg and San Marino.
Right. So it doesn't really mean anything then, because if the whole point of the Nations League is to have meaningful competition, if the likes of England and Holland, who got walloped, Croatia, who got walloped, are playing Luxembourg and Estonia and the Faroe Islands, that defeats the whole object of the competition, doesn't it?
Not really. I think it just gives them something to play for. Clearly, if you're at the top of the pecking order, you're going to qualify anyway for the Euros. And that you don't want the humiliation of being dumped into the lower divisions and having to play Hungary and Greece or Estonia. I don't know. I do see some benefit to it, Nick. But the thing I like the most about it, quite frankly, everything aside, is that there are only 3 substitutions. That, to me, makes it worthwhile watching.
Well, see, there I have another problem, because isn't the whole point of having, well, obviously you're playing competitive games. Yes, you can't have the whole malarkey of substitutions, but how can you blood youngsters into international football when every game now is a must-win game? Well,
that's exactly right. You know how you blood them? You blood them in the Nations League, because as you pointed out, so what? So you can't have it both ways in that argument, Webster. It's either one way or the other. They also have, for example, this weekend, each team had a Nations League game and they had a friendly, so a pure friendly where they could substitute half the team every 15 minutes. That, to me, is a waste of time. I'm not interested in watching that. From a spectator's perspective, I very much prefer the Nations League format, and I am going to go with it. And I understand that CONCACAF are going to be putting in some sort of similar malarkey for next year.
So it's just malarkey central. I mean, what do you get out of winning the Nations League, though, other than a higher seeding? It just seems to me that it's just a made-up tournament to fleece the fans from some hard-earned money once again.
No, I don't think it is fleecing the fans. I think if you are limiting substitutions to 3, I don't think fans are getting fleeced, quite honestly, Nick. I think the fans get fleeced when you go to a match and it's like an American football game. All right, kicking team on. You know, when we're down 7-point team on now. Oh, let's have the it's a rainy day team on now. I mean, that's what these friendlies are like. It's a waste of time. I can't stand them. Don't watch them. Hate them.
Okay, so let me throw this at you then. So the next World Cup in Qatar, and the temperatures are in the 90s because it's in the winter there, and FIFA turns around and says, okay, we're going to allow 6-7 subs per game. How do you feel?
Not interested.
So you would not watch the World Cup because there's more substitutions?
Not interested. Totally different type of game. All sorts of different strategies involved. It's not football. It's more like American football.
Well, I think that's where the game is heading, though, Nicholas. I'm afraid to say that you're going to be very disappointed. Within the next 10 years, there will be multiple substitutions. It's heading in that direction, Nick.
No,
I mean,
never.
Think about it. Yes, absolutely.
I know right now they'll let you make a 4th substitution for extra time, which I think is fair, okay? I think they should also allow goalkeepers to be substituted for injury with no penalty. I don't know. I think they might actually do that now, if I'm not mistaken. No, they don't, actually, right?
No.
So I think if a goalkeeper's injured, you should be able to bring on your backup keeper without losing a substitution spot. But no, once they start going to 5, 6, 7 substitutions, then what are we going to do? The whole college rule where there's no re-entry in the second half? And I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's a joke. The one thing I know from watching as much college soccer as I have, because I have kids that play it, I know, Nick, I know you've been very involved with it, is because of the substitution rule, it's a totally different game.
Yes, it is. It's farcical. But the fact that they do have re-entry is something that I would be very, very against. But I'm telling you, this is the future the game is heading down.
What makes you say that?
Because the cat is out of the bag. You know, the fact that FIFA allowed the 4th substitution. Why did they allow that?
Because of the heat.
Where, in Russia?
Yeah.
So half the venues were blooming freezing.
Well, that's what they said.
Raining.
It's because of the heat, the 4th substitution.
Well, if we're having a 4th substitution, I can pretty much guarantee that there will be, I would imagine, 4 substitutions during normal time in Qatar, followed by 2 substitutions in extra time. So we're looking at 6.
But what do you mean,
now.
Nick? The Qataris promised that all those venues would be air-conditioned.
Well, unfortunately, what?
They're not?
Politicians promise things all the time, and guess what? They lied, and who cares?
Yeah, no, look, Nick, I would be absolutely horrified.
I know it's upsetting you, Nick. I know it's upsetting you, but I'm telling you that is what's going to happen.
Because what happens, then all of a sudden the value of a 35-year-old pure striker suddenly goes through the ceiling because you can substitute him at the last minute, a 42-year-old. Hey, let's take Robbie Fowler out of retirement, get him away from his millions that he made in real estate. Let's get Robbie Fowler away, and let's sign him and play him the last 7 minutes when we finally have that corner coming in, the last play of the game. Hey, ref, time out, man. Let's have a sub. We're going to have a substitution. Oh, let me throw down the yellow hanky. I mean, come on.
I know it's upsetting you, and it's offending your sensibilities, but that is the direction the game.
And would you be all right with that, Webster?
Well, I mean, if we're going to watch football, if we're going to support football, we have to be aware that there are going to be changes. I mean, I think the beauty of football is the fact that the rules have barely changed in 150 years. Well, you know what? Life is changing, so perhaps football has to change with it.
Well, I think if they put in VAR, Nick.
Yes, we're sticking the muds. We're sticking the muds, Nick. You know, we're old. We're grouchy. We don't like different things. We don't like teenagers. I mean, it's gonna happen, and we're gonna have to like it or lump it.
Nonsense. And I'll tell you what, Nick. If they're going to bring in VAR, do that, because the players get a little breather during VAR, the few times that it's used. I want to see VAR. I want to see. I'll go with 4 substitutions. But I'm actually going to suggest, Nick, that what we should, if we're going to do that and have like 6 or 7 substitutions, let's just really open it up. If it's 0-0, 1-1, or 2-2, or it's a tie in any way, shape, or form, if it's a draw late on in the game, why don't they seal the entrance and unleash the wild beast like in the Roman Colosseum to speed things up and force the teams to score? Because as soon as the teams have scored, we'll have a winner and the beasts go away. What do you think, Nick?
I think that's a great idea, Nick.
I tell you what,
I'm all for it. I'm all in.
When we come back, Nick Webster and I will continue our reinvention of the beautiful game. So be sure to stay with us here on the Sports Byline USA and SB Nation radio networks, American Forces, iHeart, TuneIn, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch. We're everywhere that you want to be. 800-878-PLAY if you've got something to say. What do you think about Nick Webster's crazy notion that we're going to have 6 or 7 substitutions in world football, in football in general, in the next few years? How horrified are you? 800-878-PLAY. Where are you? We'll be right back in 3 minutes.
I'm Chris Walls, and I'm a truck driver from Missouri. For 13 hours a night, and I drive. Out of boredom, I'll stop and eat. If I'm not doing fast food, I guarantee there's a bag of chips open on my dashboard. That was all until Andro 400. I started out 4 months ago, and since taking Andro 400, I have dropped 45 pounds. I'm sleeping better. There's no cravings.
Nick just dropped on his phone call. Hopefully he'll reconnect here in the next minute or so.
I've noticed that went away, and I can only contribute that to Andro 400. One thing that Andro 400 said on the radio ad is it attacks belly fat. Well, let me tell you, it did. The second month is where I saw a drastic change in the size of my stomach. I've lost 6 inches. This product really does work.
So guys, if you'd like to experience similar results, then get Andro 400. The safe, natural, and inexpensive way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction.
Andrew, you might want to text Nick and tell him to call back in. His phone call dropped.
Up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
Being a new parent means every high and low you can imagine. But Evos can make it all easier with a baby monitor you can trust. Go to myevos.com. That's MYEVOZ.com to see how Evos can be the eyes and ears of your nursery. Evos works with your smartphone to provide a live audio and HD video connection to your baby anytime and anywhere. On a date, at work, away on business, even serving your country overseas, Evos helps you never miss a moment. Whether your baby is with a sitter, your partner, a grandparent, or a friend, you'll be right there too. And with unique features like smart alerts that know the difference between a barking dog and your baby crying, extensive sleep tracking data, and state-of-the-art security features for your peace of mind, Evos is the smart baby monitor for connected parents. And enter the code SPORTS at checkout for $20 off. That's myevos.com. MYEVOZ.com.
No Nick yet.
All right, we're back on Fifth Street Soccer, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio Network. I'm Nick Geber, and we'll be rejoined shortly with my co-host, Nick Webster, who is suffering the afflictions of a bad cell network somewhere, wherever he is. So in the previous segment, we talked a little bit about the Nations League and the fact that I actually found myself enjoying it when I usually absolutely hate international friendlies. And I did think they were played with an edge. I won't say it was a full-on, full-blown, nasty, really meaningful World Cup or Euros type of edge, but there was definitely an edge. Definitely an edge. And, it's all part of the sort of ongoing tradition of the powers that be in world football deciding they want to try and make as much money as humanly possible. And along those lines, I did see an article today that I thought stood out a little bit, saying that UEFA were planning a third European Cup competition to start as of 2021. Now, if you have something to say, by the way, call us in the studio at 800-878-PLAY, or you can comment on Facebook. We're at Fifth Street Sports Talk. So UEFA are planning another cup competition. Now, they did have another one. Obviously, there's the Europa League, which used to be called the UEFA Cup, and then there's the Champions League, which just used to be called the European Cup, and then there was something called the Cup Winners' Cup, where basically the winners of all the domestic cup competitions would play together in a sort of separate knockout competition, and then they would win the Cup Winners' Cup. And then I thought they should have something called the Cup Winners' Cup, where all the winners of the Cup Winners' Cup, which of course are teams that have won all the cups within their league and then played the Cup Winners' Cup, they'll play together in the Cup Winners' Cup. But that didn't happen. But they want to, quote, modernize the current model, which is Europa League and Champions League. And the reason for that, folks, is very simple. What UEFA are finding is that they get a lot of pushback from the big countries, and because of the big leagues, England, Spain, Italy, Germany, France. Did I miss one there, Andrew? England, Spain, Italy, Germany, France. I don't know. I can't think straight, but you know what I'm talking about. I did say Italy. Complaining that their players are being taken away for all of these international friendlies and now Nations League and then FIFA dates and then now there's the European Cup and then there's the all the domestic cups they have to do, which of course has nothing really to do with UEFA. But then there's the Champions League winners, the guys that drop out of the Champions League in a certain round will drop into the Europa League, and the clubs, the guys that pay the players, are looking and saying, hey, between international play, domestic cup play, league play, Champions League, etc., my players are playing, close to 60 games a season. And they're saying that's just too much. And so UEFA are looking at this saying, okay, well, if it's too much, then maybe, just maybe, we'll start looking for some of the smaller teams, some of the smaller nations that have less players in these teams. So the European leagues, the leagues are organized, they represent 32 leagues across Europe, including Premier League, Scotland, the Football League. Well, they're fighting this tooth and nail because some of the changes that are happening are they are dropping down the number of teams in the Europa League, and they're trying to start another tournament for all the other teams. In other words, a way they can make money off the other teams that they're not making money on already, if that makes sense to you, as it indeed makes sense to me. Well, that's what they're up to, folks. And if you like it, you like it. I don't personally care much for another European football competition, club football competition. We have the biggest ones, I think, for a lot of these teams, mid-table teams. I mean, let's be honest. If you are, let's say, Huddersfield, okay, are you going to want to have to play a fairly meaningless European competition and travel to Vladivostok or to, I don't know, or to some backward in Croatia or Serbia or wherever it is to play midweek cup game, travel your team, and then come back and face Man United and end up getting relegated from the Premier League? They don't have enough money to build the squads. These middle and lower tier clubs, there's just not enough money. So unless there's a big cash infusion for them on this, I just don't see how that has any benefit whatsoever for these clubs. We currently have the two most exciting club tournaments in the world outside of the World Cup. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, folks. I know Manchester United supporters love to poo-poo the UEFA Cup or the Europa League. They are very difficult trophies. That's a very difficult trophy to win. Are you, in general, playing the same type of, same level, same caliber team that you play in the Champions League in the final stages? No, because it's obviously an A- tier tournament, but it's still extremely difficult to win the Europa League. But I can't say that it's going to be that interesting when you have, a team from, I don't know. I'm just going to, let's see if I can come up with some names for you here. Let's just say you have a team from Croatia, Hajduk Split. That's Croatia, isn't it, Andrew? Okay, well, I think it is. Okay, yeah, against Red Star Belgrade. Well, they're not called that anymore. They're now called Vizina Vazuza, and they actually are playing in the Champions League, but I'm just using that as an example. Is that going to scintillate you and make you sit in front of the telly, take the time off work to watch the match, or sneak a look on your phone or your computer while you're in a meeting? Certainly not going to do that for me. It's going to be another thing that I'm going to say, oh, it's on my DVR, delete. Because you're going to be much more interested in seeing, Real Madrid playing Chelsea or Liverpool or Juventus or whoever it is in the Champions League. Or Hajduk Split. Pardon me, the Hajduk Split. Or Red Star Belgrade, because they are actually in the Champions League. So maybe instead of creating a third tournament, what they should do is, in fact, what they have been doing, which is maybe open up some of the bigger tournaments to some of the other teams around, so that it's not just Barcelona, Madrid, United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Juventus, Bayern Munich, blah, 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 because that gets pretty dull after a while when you see the same old people all the time. I happen to love the Champions League, don't get me wrong. It is the best football in the world. Of that, there is absolutely no doubt whatsoever. But that's an idea. But a third tier, yet another tournament, nah, not for me, mate. I'd pass on that, I think. I'm not going to be that interested in it. I don't know if the Nations League, which is we just discussed, which is UEFA's latest league offering, is going to be that interesting to me. Maybe 2 or 3 match days from now, but certainly match day 1 was surprising. But again, as I said to Nick Webster in the first segment, that it's the 3 substitution rule that makes it interesting, because if you're going to blood a young player, he's going to get to play most of the game. Unless you substitute him out early, in which case he's obviously not been a success. And that, to me, is what it's about. When you can make 7 or 8, 9 substitutions in a game, that's just boring and dumb, and it isn't football. It's something else. It's a hybrid. It's like watching high school soccer, which is another topic for another time. But you've got real football, and then you've got this sort of made-up thing. And I just hope that the money spinners, the financial enterprise, the guys with the dosh that are driving the Bentleys, and like I saw in the MLS All-Star game when I showed up there, the self-satisfied, overly smug SOBs that run that league. I just hope they don't ruin football for everyone. Because I hate to sound like an old fuddy-duddy, but what makes the game great is its history. What makes the game great is its simplicity. What makes the game great is that, unlike, say, American football, where the ball is in motion for, all of 6 minutes throughout an entire match, in football, the ball is in motion almost the entire time. And as a result, your players are in almost complete motion all the time, which means you can't have 600-pound linebackers in soccer. You've got to have guys that can get out there and run. Andrew, how many miles are you running in a match? Guess. About 5, 6, 7 miles, right? Yeah. Right, depending on where you're playing from. So, and you have to be able to turn the pace on, and you've got these wonderful athletes and their speed. And look, don't get me wrong, there are athletes in just about all sports, and there's some sports where there aren't athletes, and you can ask me why golf is a sport, for example, because you could be fat and overweight and play golf, or you could be an athlete and play golf and probably do a lot better with it. But, it's more of a competitive pastime that some people take very seriously, and God bless them for that. But in terms of an athletic endeavor, there is nothing quite like soccer, other than maybe, certainly water polo as a team sport, certainly hockey, and to a degree basketball, because if you've ever tried to play basketball, you will find yourself almost dead within the first 3 minutes. But the point I'm getting at here is that's what makes the game so interesting. It's the ebbs and the flows of the games. It's the fatigue factor. It's the fact that teams with the better older players aren't going to last quite as long throughout a game as, say, teams with the younger, more fitter players. This is a real dynamic in the game. And if you have the ability to all of a sudden, put up your tee, take a timeout, and put out 6 new players, it's totally, completely, and utterly reinventing the game. It's a totally different game. Your squad's going to look different. Your team's going to look different. Your tactics are going to look different. And then you combine that with video replay, and you combine that with technology, and you combine that with commercial break. Now we're going to have commercial timeouts, TV timeouts. And all of a sudden, you've got a totally different game that I'm just not going to be interested in, and then I won't get to broadcast to you every day. Then you're going to cry, and you're going to blame me, and I'll feel bad. Do you see how this works? 800-878-PLAY. I'm Nick Geber. This is Fifth Street Soccer on the Sports Byline USA and SB Nation Radio Networks, American Forces, iHeart, TuneIn, and we're streaming live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. I'll be back in 3 minutes. You be sure to stay with me.
Paying more for paint doesn't make it better. Makes it more expensive. The Home Depot carries some of the highest quality paint brands in America, but you'd never know it by the price, like top-rated Behr Premium Plus, starting at only $26.98 a gallon. Look around. You can always find a higher price, but you won't find better paint. Quality paint, lower price, now with 100% satisfaction guarantee. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See store for details.
It's time for the Yellow Tag sales event at your local BRP dealer, where you can save big on new Can-Am off-road vehicles. Can-Am vehicles were made to perform and make the most out of any challenge. And right now, quality costs less, because you can save up to $2,000 on select Can-Am vehicles. Just stop by your local BRP dealer right now before the Yellow Tag sales event is gone. Offer ends September 30th, 2018. Certain conditions may apply. See dealer for details.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices, and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit. And 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
O'Reilly. A rough-running engine could be suffering from buildup of fuel and oil deposits, but O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Clean out engine buildup and improve fuel economy with Seafoam products. Buy two, get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Extend the life of your engine with Seafoam products at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
All right, we're back on Fifth Street Soccer on the Sports Byline USA SB Nation Radio Network. I'm Nick Geber. European leagues. money spinning leagues, friendly matches, competitive matches. That's the topic on the table today on Fifth Street Soccer as we look at the Europa Nations League after its first round of matches. I said earlier in a previous show that I wasn't going to be interested. And this morning I said, or it wasn't really this morning, it was this afternoon, just now, I said, kind of liked it actually. Thought the 3 substitution rule was great. I thought saw a terrific goal, Giroud's goal for France against the Netherlands, which was, what a goal. What a goal. And so I'm eating a little crow, maybe taking a step back. Nick Webster, who I had on in the first segment, who had to go off and do something else, not sure what he was doing. I hope his visit to the proctologist's office goes well. He might actually find Arsene Wenger in there. I'm not sure. But anyway, he thought I was being ridiculous. He didn't like it. And he and I both agree that we are both football purists. Purists of the game. Not to say that we don't like change. We don't like evolution. I personally thought VAR was a very good addition. And the reason for that is I think the speed of the game, the speed of the modern game, the athleticism of the players in the modern game, and the evolution of the tactics in the modern game make it more and more difficult for the 3 referees that are essentially calling the match to make calls that are correct. And they are then afraid to make calls that might be wrong, sometimes critically important calls. And so I think in some regards, I'm a fan of VAR because I think the game has changed and referees need help, and referees need to know that if they make a mistake, they can always dial it back. And so calling a penalty and then reviewing it and then, saying, oh, on review it wasn't a penalty, that's not a bad thing. And what we found is it didn't necessarily take away from the ebb and flow of the game, and it didn't tack that much more time on. And I certainly think for my money, the amount of time that it tacked onto the game was well worth it to get better integrity in the result. Because the results are obviously the most important thing, given how hard it is to come by a goal in soccer. If you give one in error or you don't give one, that's not a good thing. That's a bad thing. So we're not against change. I'm personally not against change. I am against the fundamental things that change the fundamental structure of the game, though. Multiple substitutions. I do not, being one of them. TV timeouts being another one of them. Look, the beauty of a football game is this. It is a 90-minute game. You go to see your favorite team. It doesn't matter whether it's the LA Galaxy or the Seattle Sounders or Arsenal or Liverpool or Bayern Munich. That game, you're going to walk in the stadium a half hour early probably. You're going to watch 90 minutes of match and a 15-minute halftime, and then you're going to leave 15 minutes afterwards. That whole experience is going to take you about 3 hours. Now, depending on where the game is, travel, everything else, it could be a whole day. But oftentimes, if you're just in London, you want to go see a QPR match, it could be a nice afternoon or a good morning. It's not the whole day. It doesn't take 6 hours to watch a game where the ball moves for 6 minutes. And by the way, if you want to know, halftime is awful because everyone's leaving the stadium to go to the concessions to get their beer and their pies. And if you want to know who ate all the pies, you might look at me and think it's me, but it's not usually because I don't have the time to get them because the match starts and I couldn't be bothered. So those are the core atmospheric issues. There's the core game, the structure of the game. I don't want those things to change, and adding multiple subs will do that. Adding another European league, I know why the clubs don't like it. It's just more push and pull on their players for really no extra revenue. But I guarantee you, if they were to say, oh, we're going to do another league, we're going to do another cup tournament for 2021 in Europe, and we're going to add a European Super League, and the winner's going to get $100 million. Well, all of a sudden, the big clubs, the Madrids and the Barcelonas and the Bayern Munichs and the Uniteds and the Chelseas and the Cities of the world, they're going to suddenly love it. Oh, brilliant. What an incredible idea. Brilliant. We want that. So it's all about the money. Ray Orozco suggesting European Super League. where the best from the top 5 in Europe play. You know, they used to have that. It was called European Cup. Used to be you didn't get in unless you won your league. And then if you won your league, everybody played, and it was a knockout tournament. There wasn't group stages and round robins and all the rest of this crap that they have now. Now they got the Champions League. They made it more like a league so they can have more games and more money, more TV. Once the TV has rights, TV rights have money value associated, well, they want more of that. I get it. It's all good. They should have a third tournament for all the teams that get relegated. Wow. Well, there you go. That Ray Orozco is very busy on our Facebook page. That's all true. But look, the bottom line is, if there's money, they'll do it. If there's not, they won't. They figure there's not much money in a brand new, competitive, third-tier European tournament league to play in. I think it's a dumb idea. I wouldn't watch it. I'm not interested. Let's just go back to the way things were. Horses and buggies and typhoid and all these other sorts of things that we used to have back in the day. I remember fondly. Well, maybe not typhoid, but you know how it is. All right, well, let's talk about something that I am looking forward to this coming weekend, which is the Resumen de Premier League. You'll pardon my fabulous Spanish, but I cannot wait. And there are some absolutely mouth-watering fixtures on store for us starting on Saturday. The morning game is one I cannot wait for, and I might have a little bet ski with our friend and contributor and listener, Tal Smith. Liverpool traveling to Wembley Stadium to take on Spurs in a match that has a lot of import in terms of top-of-the-table bragging rights, in terms of future, in terms of, dropping points early. Spurs, of course, coming off that shocking away loss at Watford. They are now 5th in the table. Liverpool, Chelsea, Watford, Man City, and Tottenham round up the top 5. This is a very, very big match, folks. If Tottenham win and Liverpool lose, Tottenham will be tied with Liverpool. Depending on the amount of goals that they would score, they could be even on goal differential. So this is a really, really important game for Spurs. For Liverpool, they have won 4 in a row, albeit they played Leicester, Brighton Hove Albion, Crystal Palace, and West Ham. They've hardly played the world's toughest teams, although Leicester put up a good fight. And also in the first match, I thought West Ham, who got trounced 4-0, Crystal Palace, the second match where Liverpool won 2-0 away, was maybe the result wasn't really indicative of the match. But that is a juicy, juicy fixture, and that is coming up on Saturday morning. Liverpool going to Wembley to play Spurs. This is a match I will be watching. This is a match I will likely, depending on what the odds look like, might have a little punt at. I'm not sure. I don't have the odds yet. It's a little early. They'll probably come out tomorrow. A couple of other really interesting matches. And for me, later on, the what will be the late match, the 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, or the 12:30 on the East Coast. I had to use my fingers to count. That's how pathetic I am. The match that I'm really looking forward to here is Watford-Man United, where Man United are headed to Vicarage Road to play a team that is currently 7 positions in the league higher than they are. United have 6 points. Watford has 12. If Watford lose to United, United will still won't break the top 5. But I ask you this question. I talked about Liverpool and who they'd played. I said they played West Ham, they'd played Crystal Palace, they'd played Brighton Hove Albion, they'd played Leicester City. Well, if Watford win, they'll have played Brighton Hove Albion, Burnley, Crystal Palace, they'd have beaten Tottenham, and they'd have beaten Man United. And I'll tell you what, if Watford win this match, and this is at home, and I just want to point out to you, over 4 matches, Watford have conceded only 3 goals. If they win this match, we would be extremely blind if we were not looking and saying, there could be another surprise in store for us this year in the Premier League. Am I suggesting that I think Watford will win the league as Leicester did 3 years ago? Probably not. Am I suggesting that Watford could finish top 4? Well, wouldn't that be a surprise? Think about that. Think about the fact that Manchester City went to the Molineux and dropped 2 points. Think about that, along with the fact that Watford went to hosted Tottenham and took all 3 points. This Premier League this year is all over the place, and I know it's only 4 matches and they're 38 games, all right? We've got 34 matches more to go. What's that? 8. We're not even ninth of the way through. Is that about right, Andrew? My math?
Yeah, I think you're pretty close.
Something like that. My math's bad, but it's not quite that bad. So it's very early doors. However, the way this is shaping up, Chelsea Football Club. Come on, Maurizio Sarri comes in. Conte leaves. Late. No chance for transfers. The whole managerial drama playing out. Well, Sarri plays Sarri ball, which is a lot like Jurgen Klopp's heavy metal football, and Sarri didn't have a chance to go out and get players that he wanted, and these players aren't suited to it. And what about Eden Hazard? And Thibaut Courtois left, and gosh, Hazard wants to leave too, and everybody wants to leave. Rats leaving a sinking ship, etc., etc. Disaster at Stamford Bridge, nuclear war going on down there, but all of a sudden, boom, they win 4 in a row. Huddersfield beating Arsenal, beating Newcastle, beating Bournemouth. And I'd remind you, Bournemouth have only lost 1 match this season. That was to Chelsea. You just don't know what's what in the continuing drama show, to use a Gennady Golovkin line, of the Premier League. It is the most best and most competitive league in the world. I'll say it to you again. That is why I watch it. Are the best teams in the world in the Premier League? Well, as I look at it right now, I'm going to tell you unequivocally no. I still think the best teams in the world are likely in Spain. Real Madrid, Barcelona. I hate them. Don't get me wrong. Well, I hate Real Madrid less than Barcelona. I don't hate any. Actually, that's not true. I take that back. The only team I really hate is Man United. And these days, it's more pity than hate. So I certainly don't hate Barcelona and Real Madrid. I eat my words. I have no beef with them. Although Sergio Ramos is a POS. There, said it. But those are the 2 best teams. Andrew, they're still the best teams in the world, wouldn't you think? Arguably. I agree. Yeah. Oh my God, are we out of time already? I'm just waxing poetical. What happens? I get on a roll all of a sudden? Anyway, it's not Bayern Munich winning it for 9 years in a row, folks. That is just boring. Boring. Premier League show. The big drama show. All right, speaking of drama shows, the show will continue in 3 minutes. I'll be right back.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip, or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down, 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789.
Well, you know, folks, we here at Fifth Street Sports, we love bringing these shows to you, and we do have two are currently airing on a daily basis for you. Fifth Street Sports, which is at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on Sports Byline, SB Nation, American Forces, and iHeart, and TuneIn, and Facebook, and Twitter, and Twitch, and YouTube. And this one, Fifth Street Soccer, where I've been bringing you soccer now for nearly 20 years here, and it is always a pleasure and a privilege to do that. It's the most popular sport in the world. But listen, if you like NFL, and of course we just have week one under under our belt here. If you like to bet a little bit, if you are interested in baseball with the World Series coming up, maybe you could get ready for basketball season, hockey season. We can start to think about getting into pre-seasons there. If you're into all that, you definitely want to listen to Fifth Street Sports. Your host, Frank Perez, Oklahoma Brian, Las Vegas Chris, and a whole slew of guests will talk American sports with you and also the finer points of betting, so that when you go to put down your wager, you're doing so from an educated point of view. So be sure to tune in to Fifth Street Sports at 1 p.m. Pacific Time. And, of course, I'm with you Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. for the finer points of the world's most beautiful game. Find us on the web at fifthstreetsports.com. And, by the way, on Thursdays or Fridays, once I get the final odds in, I will give you our picks and values for the upcoming Premier League weekend. I do love the Premier League. I had an awful weekend last year, by the way, down substantially, but we were up substantially the first 2 weeks, so first 3 weeks. So, you got to take the good with the bad. All right, that's just about going to wrap up the show. Once again, join me every day right here on Sports Byline at 6 p.m. Pacific Time. And you can find us on the web, fifthstreetsports.com, Facebook, facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk, Twitter, Fifth Street Sports. We'd love to hear from you because that's what makes the show go round. Want to thank everyone that contributed, Jerry Pippin, Ray Orozco. Who else do we have there? Etc., etc., etc. Anyway, I'm going to call it a night. Stay tuned right here on the network for more terrific programming. The only place you get it, Sports Byline USA. I'll speak to you tomorrow.
All right, great show, Nick. Talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you.